They wear garlands of severed heads, their faces contorted in wild grimaces, tongues lolling like flames, eyes burning with fury. Surrounding them, rings of fire crackle as snakes coil around their limbs and skulls rattle from their belts. For anyone unfamiliar with Tibetan or Vajrayana Buddhist art, these figures might seem like demons, monsters from some hellish underworld. But they are not. These terrifying beings are Buddhas. And not just Buddhas, they are among the most revered and transformative figures in the entire tantric tradition. They are the wrathful deities, the fierce masks of compassion. Unlike the serene, lotus-seated Buddhas of popular imagination, these wrathful deities don't seek to soothe the surface. They plunge beneath it. Their very purpose is to challenge, disturb, and destroy, but what they destroy is not the person, it is what binds the person. They are weapons of awakening, aimed directly at ego, ignorance, and the deeply rooted patterns that cause suffering. Their wrath is not personal rage but purifying fire. It is what burns away illusion, forcefully if necessary, when gentler methods fail. In Tantric Buddhist cosmology, wrathful deities are often the fierce forms of peaceful Buddhas. Avalokiteshvara, the embodiment of compassion, has a wrathful counterpart in Hayagriva. Manjushri, the deity of wisdom, becomes the blazing, sword-wielding Yamantaka in his wrathful form. Even female deities like Tara have their fierce manifestations, Ekajati, for instance, with her single eye and flaming aura. These forms are not different beings, but different expressions of the same awakened mind. Where compassion whispers, wrath roars. Both serve the same ultimate goal, liberation. Why the frightening appearance? Because the human mind is stubborn. It clings. It fears change. And it often avoids the truth when it comes softly. So the wrathful deity comes not to hurt, but to jolt. The snakes and skulls are symbols, not horrors. The flames do not burn the soul, they burn its chains. In the tantric path, fear is not avoided, it is used. It becomes a mirror. By meditating on wrathful deities, practitioners learn to face what they usually flee. The ugly thoughts, the suppressed rage, the anxieties and resentments, all are brought into the light of awareness. Not judged, not denied, but seen fully and transformed. This transformation is alchemical. In the presence of a wrathful deity, the meditator becomes intimate with the shadow. But instead of being consumed by it, they harness it. They learn that fear is a teacher, not an enemy. The image of the deity, whether with many arms, fanged mouths, or trampling on corpses, is a map of inner conquest. The corpses represent conquered delusions. The many arms symbolize skillful means. The third eye, open and blazing, represents awakened vision that sees beyond the duality of good and evil, right and wrong, beauty and terror. What's remarkable is that despite their terrifying appearance, these deities are deeply compassionate. Their rage is the rage of a parent pulling a child from a fire. It is the intense love that does not tolerate the child's suffering for one more second. Their terrifying faces are not meant to terrify the soul, but to terrify the ego into letting go. And when the practitioner surrenders to the process, something extraordinary happens. The fire cools. The fangs vanish. And beneath the terrifying mask, they see their own face, clear, luminous, and free. Meditation on wrathful deities is not for the faint-hearted. It's a path that demands courage, honesty, and a willingness to go into the dark to find the light. But those who dare find that the scariest things are often the most sacred. They realize that what they feared was not the deity, but themselves, the parts they had locked away, the truths they had refused to face. And when those parts are finally brought into the temple of consciousness, they are not destroyed. They are liberated. The wrathful deities stand as reminders that enlightenment is not always peaceful. Sometimes it shouts, sometimes it shakes the walls. But always, it points toward truth. And in a world where fear is often seen as weakness and anger as something to be repressed, these fierce divine figures offer a radical alternative, to turn toward the flame, to see God in the monster, and to know that even the scariest mask can hide the most compassionate face.